Hello, my name is Trydar. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build an ancient Roman temple in Minecraft. Let's get started. So the first thing we're going to need to do is to establish the base for our temple. And the dimensions for this base are 31 blocks wide by 56 blocks long. And once you fill that in, you clear out a platform and just make it out of cobblestone if you want to. If you're doing this in survival and you want to save materials on the next steps, you can make it hollow if you so choose. But once you have the base laid out, you want to take cobblestone stairs and go around the edges like this and go around the entire rectangle. Once you've done that, the next section is going to be to lay out the base for the temple itself. Now, I've chosen to layer this in a couple of different materials, but if you want to do the cheap option, you can do it with stone bricks and maybe a little bit of cobblestone and some more stone bricks on top of that. You want to make that 3 blocks thick and put a cap on it of cobblestone stairs like so. And then you'll want to fill it in on the top like that. And once you've done that, you want to go out here to the front. And we need to begin to build the stairs that will lead up to the temple. So on the sides, you want to go 4 blocks like so. And 4 blocks like this, just to make a 4-block square. Make it 3 blocks tall, well, 2 blocks with a cap of stone stairs like this, and it should look like this here. Very simple to do. And once that is done, you're going to want to lay in some stairs. So you go 1 block back on either side here. These are 3 wide stairs here. You have 2 flights of those. And on the side here, just go 1 block back. And another flight up like so. And once that is done, you'll want to fill it in on the top here. This is 5 blocks long here. You want to add another 2 flights of cobblestone stairs. And that should intersect with the base we've made for the temple back here. Then you just want to wrap the cobblestone stairs that you have from the edging along the back, and it should intersect and mesh nicely with the top flight of stairs. Now in the middle, there is a 5 block wide and 3 block tall plinth, and it is 4 blocks deep. You're going to need to build this for the central statue that we're going to be adding over here. If you want to know how to build this statue, I'm not going to be covering it in this tutorial because I already have a dedicated video on how to build this Roman style statue, so you can watch that and build it on your little plinth here. And you can also change the design and put whatever else here you so choose. If you want to, you can just skip the plinth altogether and continue the stairs across to modify the design. Also, if you don't want the stairs on the side here, you can just continue your plinth all the way around like that. Feel free to get creative with the design. So, once we have our base set up, we are now ready to get on to the meat of the build, which is to put up the temple itself. And so, as you can see, we have a 4-column wide temple, and it is 6 columns long. Now, I'm also going to be glossing over how to build the columns because I have a dedicated tutorial video about that. You may also want to watch the video I did on the Roman Nether portal to explain the principles of the design. But to get these, you want to go 1 block back from the top of these stairs here. And then you want to build a column base like this, which is just 2 blocks, 4 blocks, 4 blocks, and then 2 blocks laid out in a simple cross pattern like that. You want to build those up 2 blocks tall, and in between them there are 4 block spaces. That's going to be true for the entire building. There's another 4 block space, a column base, a 4 block space, and so on and so forth until you get 4 columns laid out along with 6 side columns. Now, in the middle here, between the column bases that you will have laid out, you want to build a connecting wall like so. And if I were you, I would also make it 2 blocks thick. And this is going to be defining the interior of the temple. Now, I'm not going to go over the specifics of the interior that I put in my own temple. You can look at that in the download I'll be providing, because I assume that you're probably going to want to establish your own base inside of this temple, because as you can see, there is quite a lot of internal volume in here for you to make use of. You can have several floors and make it your main base if you so choose. So once you have your temple base laid out in this configuration, you are now ready to add some more details to the lower part of the build. And the first one you're going to want to notice is I said to do it 2 blocks because we're going to be insetting the walls here. Once you get up to 2 blocks tall, you want to then put some stairs on top of that and set the wall back 1 block like so. And also, once you get to that level, you want to wrap around the stairs like this to form the column base. And you want to go and put in some upside down stairs like this, and right on top of them, put some right side up stairs. And do this same pattern for all of the columns in the build. And for the front ones, they're of course going to be freestanding, so you will need to do this on all 4 sides. So with that complete, which is going to be a lot of work just to get to this step, we are now ready to extend the columns and walls of the build up. This is going to be the easiest part of building the temple because you will take the sections we have here and just build on top of them with whatever material you choose to use for your columns. I've included a number of examples over here for various types of column materials that I like to use. But you can take those, build your columns up, and you want to go up 12 blocks. That's going to be the height of the column drums here. And while you're doing that, you also want to extend up your interior walls, which by now are 1 block thick. And in these, I have banded these every other block with a cobblestone band here and a 2 block thick stone brick layer here. This is sort of an ancient building technique I've adapted. It's a way to give you more texture in your build while still having a flat surface. Also at this point, you can add in the main entranceway if you so choose. I have done this out of chiseled stone bricks. I have just put up a couple here in a rectangular pattern. And in this one, I've also added a 3x3 piston door here. And there's plenty of room inside this. If you want to add one of those, you can fit it into a footprint with just making your building 3 blocks deeper on the interior here, which will give you a lot of interior space to put things in. And I've also added some details on top here, which is just right side up stairs and a different material upside down stairs. And then some cobblestone fences and slabs alternating on top of each other for a small detail effect. But once all that is done, your building should resemble this on the front and the back. fairly straightforward. It's just going to be a bit of work extending the walls and the columns up. And once you have those, you are ready to add the Corinthian capitals to your columns, which you do by adding upside down stairs and right side up, then upside down again, then some more upside downs, then come out a block and add in some more upside down stairs there. So you come out with this particular pattern here, which I'm just glossing over because I have done a tutorial on Roman columns already. So if you want to know how to build these, if it's not clear from this, there is a separate tutorial explaining that, if you should find that to be necessary. You also notice for the side columns here, they are, of course, attached to the walls. This, in architectural terms, is called a pilaster. And this is a characteristic Roman type effect. This is what separates this temple from being a Greek temple. And the basic way to tell a Roman structure from a Greek structure is because the Greeks will put a lot of emphasis on the exterior of the building, whereas the Romans will put most of their ornamentation and effort and expense on the interior of the building. This is why, if you will look up reference things for Roman buildings like the Roman baths, from the outside they look interesting, but they're not architecturally as impressive as their interior would suggest. And that's because, of course, as I said, the Romans spent all their money on the inside and left the outside somewhat, shall we say, economically done. Now, with that section done, you are now ready to add the entablature, which is this section here, which in the orders of architecture, we have the columns, which we have just completed. The next section, before we get to the roof up here, is a key section called the entablature. So in order to get this, you want to go on the corners of the top of the columns here. And you're going to want to go all the way around the building in a line like this. You want to build a large rectangle, and you want to go up, and you want to take this up 6 blocks. And the entablature itself is a very simple repeating pattern, which is just an upside down stair, like so. Then a right side up stair of stone bricks, like that. And then you want to choose a banding material, which I suggest it should be the same material as you choose for the column. It should be the band. So you want to build that like that. And then over top of it, you want to have another layer of cobblestone, probably 2 blocks tall. And you're going to want to alternate that with upside down stairs, like so, to get this effect, which are called dentils. And in between those, I have sometimes added a detail of having a chiseled stone brick type pattern here. And on top of that, you just want to add some more upside down stone brick stairs, like so. And this is going to be the design for the entablature you should use on pretty much every Roman style structure you build. Like every time you put up these columns that I'm showing you, you should also put on top of them an entablature like this. Now, once that is done, it should look somewhat like this. This is also the point where you should be roofing over the interior of your building. And it is also where we want to start adding the triangular roof section. Now, the slope of these roofs will vary just a little bit. For smaller structures, the pitch needs to go up a little bit more than it would for, say, a 6 or an 8 column wide structure. And we are going to want to do that by first adding the end caps here, which are going to be 2 blocks wide and 2 blocks tall, just a simple square. And then on top of that, on the front, you want to put a band of right side up cobblestone stairs. And then you're going to want to start sketching out the slope of the roof here, which I suggest you make this 2 blocks thick, by the way. So you will start with 1 block, and then you immediately want to go over to a block and a half slab, which, so you can see this easier, I'll make this out of cobblestone. And you'll put a block there, and then you'll want to go a block here. And then 2 more like that. And then like so on and so forth, like so. And on top of it, you will want to smooth it out by putting some half slabs there. And as you can see, this is the pattern you continue like that. It goes up in 3 blocks over, and it meets up at a central block here in the middle from our starting block over here. And you put slabs here and here, then on the top like that. And behind it, you need another material back here to give some contrast. I've chosen to use red nether brick for this, but you can use any material that you end up using your roof for, I would think. Now, let's talk about these side finials here. They're very simple structures. In order to build these, all you do is make a little 2 block tall cobblestone pillar here and put cobblestone stairs stacked on top of each other like so. And whichever material you choose to use, I've gone with gold in my texture pack here. And we'll put a little diorite on top of that so you can see how that works. And just stack them on the side of your roofs like that. And you'll want to have 2 on either side and 1 here at the top of your building like so. Now, because the scale is so small here, we can't really replicate fine carved Greek statues here. But what we can do instead is just pretty much randomly place some stairs along here like so. And I will knock these out and put in something new around here. Now the central one should be a bit more prominent than the others, so you can just add some blocks here and make sort of whichever type thing you want to put in here. I wouldn't suggest putting too much work into these, just sort of lay them down and put stairs around each other in a more haphazard type fashion. I found it works better that way, so you don't end up overthinking it too much. And you can sort of look at this and play around with it and maybe add in some half slabs here and there if you so choose. It's more an art form than anything else. But you can look at the design that I have chosen in the download or right here on the video and replicate it for yourself. It's not too difficult. It's mirrored on both sides. And it's not something you're going to be looking at too closely because you're always going to be seeing this from a distance, so it only has to look interesting from a distance. So with that part done, the next section is to continue the roof pattern back, which we have a bit of texture on the roof pattern here. It's not really too difficult. The easiest thing to do is to go ahead and extend back the top ridge of the roof here. I've done this with chiseled stone blocks like this. And on top of that, you just want to put some decorative panels here with some stairs. And just have them face each other like that and stack them on top of each other, which will give you an effect like this over here. And on the sides, of course, we have the same pattern, but a little bit less pronounced, which is just a cobblestone band here, and then cobblestone stairs on top of each other like that. Make sure they're in line with the dentils that you put in down here, by the way. And then put in some slabs in between those. Once that is done, you will need your roofing materials. Now, to give a little bit of structural support, which, I mean, since this is Minecraft, you don't really have to add these on the interior here. I've just added some wooden beams as support down here. But the easiest way to get this roof started is you will notice over here, this follows the same slope as the pediment that we've already started here. So you just follow that back with your material like this, and you just want to do it 3 blocks wide. And you will extend this all the way back across the roof here. And every 2 blocks you want to go back, you want to inset it a little like this. And you produce this pattern by going along and knocking out every other block like so. And then place in some half slabs like this. And then you'll want to go continue this pattern back for 2 blocks. And then on top of those, you're going to want to lay down half slabs of nether brick or whichever roof material you're choosing to use here. And this same basic pattern, this is just a repeating pattern that I've just showed you. You do this for the entire roof, all the way back, and you should end up with something like this. And also, I should mention that the pediment on the back here is a mirror version of what you have built here at the front, which I've already shown you. So as you can see, this temple is not terribly difficult to do. It's just got a lot of repeating patterns that you need to learn. Because once you build 1 column, you can build a bunch of them. And the entablature is just a simple banded repeating pattern. And once you have the roof set up, you can go back with the roofing pattern that I've shown you how to do here. So now that I have shown you all of these stages, I will show you some completed models. And this here is what you're going to be downloading in the description today. I will also include the model here that I've worked on if you want to see this building in its various stages. But there are many different options you can choose to color your building. If you want, you can have columns made entirely of lapis or a dark prismarine. You can also change your roof colors here to be lapis and various colors of prismarine if you so choose. Dark prismarine would look good up here, but I've gone with a brighter color prismarine. And all the other roofs around here are simple red nether brick. You can also use nether quartz ore for columns if you so prefer. I've always used this as a good analog for Roman Imperial marble. Got a pretty good texture for that. I prefer the original texture, not the one they changed it to, by the way. And I should also quickly mention something I didn't cover. When you are doing the front porch here, you can add some hidden lighting up here at the top, and you just want to make a simple rectangular coffer pattern up here to seal off the connection between this and the roof. And here we have the diorite example I've just shown you. Here's another one with pure bedrock. And yet another one with obsidian. Looks pretty interesting. And another one over here with just plain granite. And I haven't included a model for that, but if you so choose, you can build the entire temple out of quartz. Should you somehow be crazy enough to wish to gather up enough quartz for this, I've shown you how to do this today, however, with very readily accessible materials, which mostly just boils down to a bunch of diorite and cobblestone, along with a reasonable quantity of red and regular nether brick. So this concludes the tutorial. I hope you found the video useful, and thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.